Welcome to class, everyone. So, have you ever found yourself in a situation where you just really wanted things to be different? Or maybe you looked back at yesterday and thought, oh man, I really shouldn't have done that. We all do it, right? It's literally human nature. But expressing those feelings naturally in English, well, that can sometimes feel a bit like navigating a grammatical minefield. But don't worry, because today, in this explainer, we're going to totally demystify exactly how we express our deepest wishes and our heaviest regrets in everyday English conversation. So, settle in, get comfortable, and let's get ready to learn.
Here's our quick roadmap for today's lesson. First, wishing for right now. Second, regrets about the past. Third, changing the future. Fourth, adding stronger emotion. And finally, a quick pop quiz to test your skills.
All right, let's dive right into section 1, wishing for right now.
Okay, so here is the golden rule. To talk about wanting things to be different right now, literally in the present moment, we actually have to use the past tense. I know, it sounds super counterintuitive at first, but the formula is simply this: I wish or if only, followed by the past simple tense. We use this past simple tense to signal to the listener that we're talking about an imaginary or hypothetical present. It's basically a wish that could still technically happen, but just isn't our reality quite yet.
Let me paint a picture for you to show you exactly what I mean. Imagine a guy named Mike. His reality is that his apartment is way too small, but he wants that to change right now. So, how do we actually say that? We say, he wishes he lived in a bigger house. Did you catch the verb there? Lived. It's past simple, even though Mike is sitting in his tiny apartment making the wish right at this very moment. Or consider Sandra from our source materials. Let's say she hates her current job. You wouldn't say she wishes she works on a farm. No, you shift back a tense and say she wishes she worked on a farm.
Now, I want to share a really special rule involving the verb to be. When we're making these present wishes, especially in formal or academic settings, we use were for all subjects. Yes, you heard me right, even for I, he, she, and it. So instead of saying, I wish I was taller, the absolute secret to sounding incredibly natural, highly proficient, and grammatically perfect is to say, I wish I were taller. Or, if only she were more confident. Definitely keep that little trick in your back pocket. Moving right along to section 2, regrets about the past. I like to think of this as a tense shift. If the reality, the mistake or the missed opportunity, happened in the past simple, then the regret requires taking a step even further back in time. We have to use wish plus the past perfect. Why? Well, because the past perfect tells the listener that the event is firmly locked in the past, and it is simply too late for this wish to come true.
Let's look at a super relatable example. Imagine a student staring down at a terrible report card. The reality is, I failed my exams. The action is totally done. So to express the regret, we shift to the past perfect. I wish I had studied harder. Had studied. Or imagine you're completely lost in a brand new city because you didn't bring a map. You'd probably look at your friend and say, I wish we had brought a map. It's a regret about the past that we literally cannot change.
Okay, let's look forward now. Section 3, changing the future.
So, the crucial point here is this new structure. I wish plus would plus the base verb. We use this when we are expressing a desire for someone else to do something differently in the future. Honestly, it is the absolute perfect grammar tool for expressing polite frustration. Does your coworker constantly talk over you in meetings? I wish you would stop interrupting me. Does your roommate leave their socks everywhere? I wish they would clean up. It's a hope for the future, usually tied to a behavior you're just dying to change.
But wait, huge warning here. This is a massive, incredibly common error that catches so many learners out. You absolutely cannot use would with I or we when making wishes for yourself. You cannot say, I wish I would study more. It is grammatically incorrect. Would is strictly reserved for wanting other things or other people to change. If you want to study more yourself, you've got to go back to our present wish rule from earlier. I wish I studied more.
All right, section 4, adding stronger emotion.
Consider this quick comparison. A standard wish is something like, I wish I knew how to ski. It's nice, right? It's polite. But if you are standing at the top of an incredible snowy mountain, feeling totally left out while all your friends are having a blast, you're going to want a bit more emphasis. You'd say, if only I knew how to ski. Notice that the grammar rules we already learned stay exactly the same. We still use the past simple for a present wish. We just swap I wish for if only to dramatically dial up the feeling.
And hey, if you need formal alternatives, maybe you're writing a professional email at work or sitting for an advanced English proficiency test, these are fantastic options. Step 1, should have plus the past participle. For example, I should have called sooner. Step 2, ought to have plus the past participle, like I ought to have used less electricity. They mean the exact same thing as a past regret. They just sound slightly more elevated and professional.
And now for the fun part. Section 5, Pop Quiz. Test yourself.
Here is quiz question 1. The situation is, I don't have enough money right now. So the wish is, I wish I blank more money. The verb is have. Take a second. Remember, we are wishing for something to change right now, in the present moment. What tense do we need?
Did you get it? The answer is, I wish I had more money. Fantastic job if you got that right. The rule is to use the past simple for present wishes. So even though you want the money today, the grammar requires the past tense, had.
Okay, let's try quiz question 2. The situation. We missed the bus yesterday. The strong regret, if only we blank earlier. The verb is leave. Think carefully. This is a strong regret about something that already happened in the past and definitely cannot be changed. What's the formula? The answer is, if only we had left earlier. Excellent work. Gently remind yourself of the rule here. Past regrets require the past perfect tense. That's had plus the past participle left. It's just too late to catch that bus now. All right, here is our final and probably trickiest question. Quiz question 3. I want you to find the grammar error in this sentence. I wish I would be taller. Think back to the common errors we discussed earlier and that special rule about formal English. How should we correctly say this?
The totally correct sentence is, I wish I were taller. Great effort on this one. Remember the 2 big rules we just reinforced. First, never ever use would for self-wishes with I or we. And second, when wishing for a different present state of being, using were instead of was is the most natural and grammatically sound choice.
As we wrap up our lesson today, I really want you to focus on this core takeaway. The tense of the verb that follows wish affects the meaning of the sentence. In English, time is beautifully flexible when we express our deepest wishes and regrets. Using the past simple signals a present hope. Using the past perfect signals a locked-away past regret. Once you master that tense shift, you literally unlock a whole new level of fluency.
So I want to leave you with one final thought, and maybe just a little bit of homework. What is one thing you wish you had known before starting this explainer? Think about your answer. Formulate it using that past perfect regret structure. And then, I challenge you to immediately apply these formulas in your very next English conversation. Trust me, the more you practice, the more natural it's going to become. Thanks so much for joining me in class today, and keep learning!